but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Big. It's a big deal. You get one medium hot or...
It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days.
Welcome in, everybody, to the Booty Scoot Racing channel, live here on the TikTok platform. We are getting ready to go playoff racing for the I-85 Asphalt Series, the late model division. If you caught the action last night, the modified division was in action. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to tack on the South Boston Speedway, this 0.140 mile asphalt oval. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is one of the most oldest short tracks in the Northeast here in Virginia, located in South Boston, Virginia, located in 1957. And ladies and gentlemen, heard from the admin, sold out here tonight, 10,000 asses in the stands, not a ticket left available. Only the standing room, only, ladies and gentlemen. We'll kick it down here on the main broadcast. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series, the late model playoff race number 2, live here from the South Boston Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys tuning in here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel as the crowd begins to roar here. Tons of number 23 gear and number 2 paint house Blake Koch Gile gear in the stands. Neil Rutz, this lady right here in front of me, has on a Neil the Real Deal Nut the Third race car. That die cast, I believe it might be signed. This lady right here, she's ready to go racing here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Ladies and gentlemen, These guys continue to dial in the back half of the happy hour session. I'll shut my mouth here. Getting ready to go racing in tonight's heat racing, and I promise I'll clean up all of the broadcast commentary when we return, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a moment as these guys continue to work on these race cars. The haulers are parked on the infield. It's a party in South Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away from the heat races here tonight at the South Boston Speedway. We ask you guys to go ahead and go grab your beers, light your cigarettes. It's getting ready to get wicked down here on the racetrack here at this 0.40 mile asphalt oval, located right here in Virginia, home of the Burtons. The NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Burton cut his teeth right here on the short banks of South Boston, excuse me. And ladies and gentlemen, we ask these guys right here to go ahead and tell these are your family members. Go ahead and tell them to take 2, 3, 4 steps back from the fence here as we're getting ready to tackle on the heat races here tonight. Shit is down to get wicked. We get ready to cut the music down here, and I will explain you tonight's keys of the race, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are getting ready to tackle on the South Boston Speedway, and with the sun out here tonight for the night's heat races, they're going to have to really hold on to these race cars. It looks like we're getting ready to switch over here for heat race number 1. These guys are going to tackle on 2 heat races here tonight, 15 laps apiece around the... Well, let me see if I can get the camera to flip over here. Looks like we're going to have 7 guys rounding out heat race number 1. Yes, we got the starter cam up here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. These guys are starting to load in here tonight at the South Boston Speedway for the Old Spice Late Model Classic. Peter the pace car just flicked you the middle finger through the front of his pace car as he sees everybody lounging out. But field out behind him, get ready to start tonight's starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. Starting on the pole for heat race number 1, driving the number 7 late model here tonight, that's going to be Bradley Cross. Starting in the second place spot here tonight in heat race number 1, driving the number 2 Paint House Machine from Tempe, Arizona. That's the 25-year-old of Blake Hochschild. Starting in the 4th place spot here tonight on the second row, driving the Boardwick late model. That's the number 66 of Neil, the Real Deal Rutt. Starting on the inside of him, driving the number 5 sponsorless here tonight for the Old Spice Late Model Classic. That's the Season 1 champion of Showtime, Chase Johnson. Going to be rounding out the 5th place spot here tonight in heat race number 1, driving the other Boardwick late model. That's the number 99 from New Bern, Dakota, Pignataro. Starting on the outside of him, driving the Tennessee Volunteer, number 92 late model from Elk Grove, California. That's Young Money, Alex Morales. Starting here, tail shotgun into the field for heat race number 1. That's the 3rd Boardwick late model here from Middletown, New Jersey, to make the trip down here to Virginia to South Boston tonight. That's the number 14 of Mike Dole. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll jump back up here to the front of the pack. We're getting ready to go racing here in heat race number 1. We see you guys tacked in here tonight. You got all your gear on here. Peter the pace car leading them down the back stretch here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you came for. Getting ready to go racing, tackling on 15 laps around the South Boston Speedway. Peter the pace car should hang the left on the pit road this time around. And it looks like Freddie the flagman's ready to crank up the Old Spice Late Model Classic. Green flag is in the air here for the Late Model Classic here in the South Boston Speedway. Down into turns 1 and 2 here. They'll sail off the corner side by side. Looks like that's the number 96 of Young Money, Alex Morales. He's a little bit loose off the corner there. Here comes Bradley Cross to the race lead. Blake Hochschild to try on the outside. And here comes Neil, the Real Deal Rutt, the number 66 down on the bottom side. Chase Johnson will put his late model nose right there on the left side. Quarter panel, the number 7. But he'll get a little bit loose. Not able to hold on to it, though. But so will Bradley Cross. He'll sail up the racetrack here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to complete the final laps here tonight. For heat race number 1, it's going to be 13 laps to go here. That's Bradley Cross at that number 7 up off the bottom side of the racetrack on the outside groove. He'll lose 2 spots right there to Neil Real Rutt and Chase Johnson here. They're going to be side by side off of turns 3 and 4 here on the Woody Scoot Racing channel. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series, the late model classic. That's going to be Neil Rutt battling door-to-door here with Showtime Chase Johnson. That's the battle for the race lead. Back here, Bradley Cross battling door-to-door here with Blake Hochschild. The battle's on here off of turn 4. Blake Hochschild able to get a hold of it. And it looks like that's going to be Bradley Cross in that number 7 late model smacking the outside wall there, but really able to hold on to it. Will stay green here on the Woody Scoot Racing channel. Blake Hochschild trying everything in the notebook here to hold on to that third place spot here. He's got a hard charging Dakota Pignataro falling right behind him. Talked to Dakota before the race here. He said this was one of his favorite tracks. He was really looking forward to the ninth event. We're riding on board with the number 99 of Dakota here. He's trying the bottom side of Blake Hochschild here through the corners. Not able to hold on to it here. Gets a little bit loose. Blake Hochschild's able to drive up off the corner. That battle for that third place spot will continue on right here. But the battle for the race lead still going side by side here. It's Neil Rutt and Showtime Chase Johnson on the Woody Scoot Racing channel. Chase Johnson able to get the advantage up off the corner there. Battling a little bit of a loose condition here for Showtime Chase Johnson, will have the advantage over Neil Rutt. Neil Rutt able to get the gas down off turns 1 and 2 quite well down the back straightaway. 8 laps remain here in heat race number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We're scheduled for 2 heat races here tonight. Still got one more right after this, so make sure you don't go nowhere. Been clean so far. The green flag is in the air. The battle back here between these 2 Boardwick late models and Blake Hochschild is on here down the back straightaway in the turns 3 and 4. Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Hochschild trying everything in his pocket to hold on to that 4th place spot as he lost the 3rd place spot here in the Dakota Pignataro late model machine. But the battle for the race lead still battling side by side here. It's Neil Rutt the 3rd and that number 66 late model and the number 5 is Showtime Chase Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, we're working heat race number 1 at the South Boston Speedway side by side for the race lead. Chase Johnson showing you why he was the Season 1 champion, battling door-to-door with Neil Rutt here on the bottom side of the racetrack. Neil Rutt will roll the outside quite well from Union Beach here. Neil Rutt, late models is all in his background. It's what he grew up racing in. So he became right out the front door of Neil Rutt here as he continues the battle door-to-door with Showtime Chase Johnson. Getting you right down here live and in the action here. Maybe a little bit of a door bank here between him and Showtime Chase Johnson. Really able to hold off the corner here down the back straightaway into the front stretch, 3 laps to go here on the Woody Scoot Racing channel. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt the 3rd will not be denied here in heat race number 1. 2 laps to go here. Big loose off the corner. There's the number 14 of Mike Dole. He's able to hold on to it. Looks like we're going to stay green, though, on the Woody Scoot Racing channel as these guys continue to battle it out back here. That's the number 7 of the number 7 of Bradley Cross, who started on the pole here the night, driving that number 7 late model. White flag is in the air. The battle for the race lead is on. Neil Rutt the 3rd is able to get around Showtime Chase Johnson. Little battle down into turns 3 and 4 here for the final time here tonight. Showtime Chase Johnson's going to try the bottom side one more time. Up off the corner of the turns 3 and 4. You have to give the Neil Rutt the 3rd. Chase Johnson. Blake Hochschild will follow right behind Dakota Pignataro, followed by Bradley Cross, Mike Dole, and then Young Money Alex Morales. That's how they'll round out here. Heat race number 1. Neil Rutt the 3rd will start on the pole for the night's feature, scheduled for 75 laps. Neil Rutt the 3rd will win heat race number 1 here from the Old Spice Late Model Classic here tonight at the South Boston Speedway. Looks like we're pounding in the rest of the field for heat race number 2. We appreciate you guys tuning in here tonight, liking up the stream, following the Woody Scoot Racing channel. Head on over to the YouTube page at the top right of your screen where all the full races are posted there. We got a whole season of late model R's already underneath our belt. So is the Wheel and Modifieds that you could have caught here last night. If you would have tuned in here, you already would have been subscribed. Head on over to the YouTube page. Ladies and gentlemen, going to kick off heat race number 2. Starting on the pole here, waving the green flag is going to be Freddie the flagman for the number 8 of Corey Riptide Tester. Starting on the outside of him, driving the number 18 fast track late model. That's going to be Leighton Rose. Starting in the 3rd place spot here tonight, driving the number 02 Penske late model from Wilford, South Carolina. That's the 23-year-old of Nicholas Maynard. Starting on the outside of him, driving the number 24 HendrickCars.com playoff driver here for the I-85 Asphalt Series, James Fowler. Rounding out, looks like going to be the 5th place spot here tonight in heat race number 1, driving the number 23 Gorilla Mine late model from Greer, South Carolina, your mom's favorite driver, John Michael Bryan. Rounding out the last place spot here, that's going to be the P6 spot in heat race number 2. It's going to be the number 21 Baxter Brewing late model from Augusta, Maine of Jeremy Douglas. Corey Riptide Tesner is going to be the one bringing them to the green flag here this next time around. Looks like Peter the Pace Car is going to lead them around for one more lap here on the Woody Scoot Racing channel. We appreciate you guys tuning in here for the Old Spice Late Model Bash. Ladies and gentlemen, the admins already had one heat race completed here tonight. Saw Neil Rutt the third absolutely battle door-to-door here with Showtime Chase Johnson, but has seen Neil Rutt be able to get around there with 2 laps to go in the heat race to pick up the pole spot for tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we're scheduled for 75 laps right after this heat race. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss a damn thing. Getting ready to go racing here in heat race number 2. Corey Riptide Tesner's on the pole here. Leighton Rose is going to be on the outside. Green flag is in the air for heat race number 2. And we're battling back here at South Boston down into turns 1 and 2. These drivers really able to hold on to these race cars up off the corner. 2 turns 1 and 2. Ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the number 18 of Leighton Rose has the fall back there for the third place spot. The second place spot followed by Nicholas Maynard. Then James Fountain, the door bang there with John Michael Bryant. And the Boogeyman will have to get up the gas there up off the corner. Battling door to door with Jeremy Douglas down the back straightaway. John Michael Bryant makes a little bit more contact. James Fountain trying to run down the Penske late model right in front of him here. Dave's Auto Center on the back of the number 02 late model of Nicholas Maynard down into turns 1 and 2 here. 15 laps are scheduled here for heat race number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this will set the outside row for tonight's feature. Jeremy Douglas rounds out the back half. John Michael Bryant contact with James Fountain real early into the night's race. It's Nicholas Maynard trying to run down the 2 guys in front of him. Corey Riptide Tesner up off the corner here with the number 18 of Leighton Rose. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like Nicholas Maynard's up off the bottom side as well. That really opens up the door for the number 24 of James Fountain battling off turns 3 and 4, back down into turns 1 and 2. We'll check for the battle for the race lead here. It's Corey Riptide Tesner is working his way back down into turns 3 and 4 here. Really trying to hold on to the race lead here as every lap led in the heat races. 1 point added to your total score. Contact's made and the caution flag flies here on the Woody Scoot Racing channel. Caution flag flies here for Corey Riptide Tesner. He gets a little bit of the front bumper of Leighton Rose here, that number 18 late model. We will back that ass up here as we always do. For the instant replay, Leighton Rose and Corey Riptide Tesner. Tangle bumpers here at the South Boston Speedway. The first caution flag here tonight for the heat races. We'll back that out, so take a look here down into turns 3 and 4. Corey Riptide Tesner up off the bottom side of the racetrack. And it looks like Leighton Rose just gasses up a little bit too hard. Slams it into the number 8 machine of Corey Tesner. And Corey Tesner will go around. Looks like we can't see, we can't back that out. So one more time. And right out the front bumper cam of the number 18 of Leighton Rose. We'll see exactly what the hell he's seen and what he was trying to do here in that fast track late model. We'll back it up here. See if we can't change over to the gyro cam attached inside of that late model. We'll back it up. Definitely contact me there trying to gas up the number 18 late model here. But Corey Riptide Tesner is able to hold on to it. Looks like everybody's able to skate through here with minimal damage to any, if none. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the first caution flag here tonight. For the heat races, we'll take one quick commercial break and be back after this. Don't go nowhere. Bang, bang, ladies and gentlemen, you're flying about 8,000 feet above the racetrack right now with Billy the Blink driver, excuse me, as these guys are working the caution flag here tonight. The AMR safety crew is out on the racetrack here trying to scramble off a little bit of dirt that flew into turn 1 and 2 here. 11 laps to go, going to be 10 this time around. This is the current point standing for the late model playoff series. And as they run here, we're heading to Hickory 2 weeks from now for the final cutoff race. We'll crown our final 4 drivers. Who's going to be racing for that late model championship? Tony Cook not in the field here tonight, so definitely going to have some playoff implications here in the coming weeks. Back down here on the main broadcast for the Woody Scoot Racing channel. Look at this beautiful shot here. Packed out here tonight at the South Boston Speedway as these guys work their way off turns 3 and 4. The caution flag is standing straight up here by Freddie the Flagman, which indicates to us here that we are getting ready to go back racing here in the turn 1 cam underneath the wheeling caution lights here. Nicholas Maynard to get the outside of looks like going to be the number 18 of Leighton Rose. And Corey Riptide Tessner will be the victim here underneath the caution flag of the number 18. He'll start right behind him as the number 8 of Corey Tessner looking to maybe pay it back here on the restart. The number 24 HendrickCars.com late model James Fountain will restart the 4th place spot. Give John Michael the 5th place spot. Getting ready to go back racing here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Peter the pace car is going to hang the left on the pit road. And we'll be back racing for you. Know it. Corey Tessner is going to be the race leader. Back through the restart zone. We're back green here in the Old Spice Late Model Classic here down into turns 1 and 2. Jeremy Douglas really up off the bottle there. Not the greatest restart that he was looking for. So was Nicholas Maynard. That'll open up the door back here to John Michael Bryant. James Fountain looking to make it 3 wide. Not able to get there quite yet. Nicholas Maynard will shut the air off. He'll slide down on the bottom side of the racetrack there. That'll open up the door for John Michael Bryant here one more time. He was able to hold his position down on the bottom side. Here comes your mom's favorite driver, the boogeyman, James Fountain, looking to set it 3 wide here at South Boston up the middle. Nicholas Maynard caught on the outside. Down into turns 1 and 2 here. Nicholas Maynard gets stuck here. He's got a quarter panel. James Fountain will set it 3 wide down the back straightaway. We're 3 wide racing here in the South Boston. Contacts made between John Michael Bryant and James Fountain. James Fountain to go around here underneath the camera. Caution flag flies here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Caution flag is out here for the 2nd time here tonight. And some very quick laps here. We'll back that ass up on the Booty Scoot Racing channel as Peter the pace car is waving the hell out of that flag. James Fountain is the victim here. He'll go around after a little bit of contact with John Michael Bryant, but Nicholas Maynard in there as well. 3 wide battling here at the South Boston Speedway. What else could you ask for here? Not a lot of damage to any one of these cars. If any, John Michael Bryant able to hold his little contact with Nicholas Maynard. Ping pongs James Fountain down to the bottom side of John Michael Bryant. He's really able to hold on to that race car. We'll see if he can back that ass up one more time and right out the top nose of the HendrickCars.com late model live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Him and Nicholas Maynard certainly going at it here. James Fountain got a guy on his left side, a guy on his right side here, looking to make something shake up the middle here at the South Boston Speedway. He's not able to hold on to it here. Contacts made with Nicholas Maynard sends James Fountain down into John Michael Bryant. And he just has to lock it down here and hold it down into turns 3 and 4 here. We'll work the caution flag here. And I'm hearing from the admin, we're headed to overtime here in heat race number 2. So ladies and gentlemen, stick around. We'll be back in just a moment. Bang, bang, bang. Back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, we're working the caution flag for the 2nd time here tonight for heat race number 2 here. Looks like it's going to have Leighton Rose as the race leader here as they head off into turns 3 and 4 here, getting ready to come back around. Freddie the flagman is signaling to Peter the pace car that it is 1 lap to go this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Burton, the Burtons are in town here tonight at the South Boston Speedway, trying to catch a little bit of this I-85 Asphalt Series late model division action here for the Old Spice Classic. Getting ready to go racing here. Leighton Rose is going to be on the bottom side as the race leader. Nicholas Maynard will have the 3rd place spot. Jeremy Douglas really trying to work his way through the field. James Fountain in that number 24 machine. We'll get back in the back half of the field here after going around. Everything looks like it's going to be in the hands of Leighton Rose and Corey Tessner as they head off turns 3 and 4. Back through the Geico restart zone. We are back green here in the South Boston Speedway for the Old Spice Late Model Classic down into turns 1 and 2 here. Corey Riptide Tessner really able to hold to the quarter panel. The number 18 of Leighton Rose here down into turns 3 and 4. Leighton Rose has got the advantage. Nicholas Maynard shoved up out the corner there as Corey Tessner comes across the nose. John Michael Bryant's able to hold on to the 3rd place spot here down the front stretch here. The crowd are roaring as the white flag flies here in overtime. Corey Tessner down on the bottom side. He'll battle door to door here. The contact's made back here between Nicholas Maynard and James Fountain. Here comes the battle for the heat race win off the corner of turns 3 and 4 side by side. Give it to Leighton Rose here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. What a finish here from the number 18 late model of Leighton Rose. He'll get the advantage over Corey Tessner by 0.02 of a second. John Michael Bryant will get the 3rd place spot. And it looks like, the third, we'll get the front pole here, along with looks like Leighton Rose and Neil Rudd will be our 2 front pole starters here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We appreciate you guys tuning in. If you love what you've seen so far, make sure you head on over to the YouTube page. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, though, we ask you guys to rise and stand as you're able to as we get ready to salute tonight's troops here with tonight's national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go back racing here at the South Boston Speedway for the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division. And I promise you, you are not going to believe how the hell things have just shook out here on pit road. As we were underneath the national anthem here, we've seen John Michael Bryan and Nicholas Maynard make a little bit of contact there. Underneath that last heat race, we told you the Burtons were in town. Ward Burton came over to Nicholas Maynard's race car and absolutely tried to rip the hood off of that thing. As Ward Burton's on the box tonight for the Boogeyman, trying to coach him around the South Boston Speedway. You see these guys getting this one fast and one final last practice session here with a 1 minute warm-up, getting ready to go racing here for 75 laps around the South Boston Speedway. The heat races are in the book. Neil Rudd is going to be on the pole. On the outside of him will be the number 18 late model of Lee Rose. Ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to go underneath the lights here tonight for the Old Spice late model bash. So if you don't like the dark, you better get inside of the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful scene here around the South Boston Speedway. We'll get it down here on the racetrack here as everybody's starting to pile in on the field. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to start tonight's driver introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, you are getting ready to be amazed at what the hell these guys can do around such a short South Boston Speedway oval. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Burton inside of the race car with Peter the pace car, excuse me. So they'll take the trip around the South Boston Speedway. Look at all the fans standing up here. It's Neil Rutt, his number 66 Boardwick late model will sell out of that hat and shirt combo out there in the fan zone. Plenty of guys out there in their Boardwick shirts. Corey Tesner just loads in on the Sunoco number 8 late model. Chase Johnson down here as well. The Boogeyman loading in, getting ready to start tonight's driver's introduction. Still missing a couple more drivers here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing for the admin that these guys have something planned special here underneath the pace laps for you guys. Getting ready to go racing here. Looks like starting on the pole, driving the number 66 Boardwick late model from Union Beach. That's going to be Neil, the real deal Rutt. And on the outside of him, supposed to be Lee Rose here, but he'll miss the start. So Corey Riptide Tesner and that Sunoco number 8 late model will be given a gift here to start the feature. He'll be moving up to the second place spot. Chase Johnson will round out the third place spot here tonight in that number 5 late model for Chase Johnson Racing. Sean Michael Bryan in the number 23 will round out the fourth place spot here tonight behind Corey Riptide Tester and his Gorilla by late model. Dakota Pignataro will move up a couple spots here down on the bottom side of that number 99 Boardwick late model. James Fountain in the number 24 HendrickCars.com Chevy looking to come to the front here. He's got some work here to do tonight. He'll shake back here from going to be the 5th place spot. 3 wide salute around the South Boston Speedway for you folks here on the Moody Super Racing channel. What an absolute pleasure. We'll pause the driver introductions real quick. Here's James Fountain. Is out here on the outside here. It's going to fuck my ticker all the way up here, but it is okay. Ladies and gentlemen, anything for the action here tonight. We'll just have to zoom through the driver's introduction. These guys giving you a show, getting ready to go racing here for the Old Spice Late Model Classic here on the Moody Super Racing channel. Getting ready to go racing here. Freddie the Flagman's got the one to go green this time around in the air. Looks like we're at a lap, ladies and gentlemen. Getting ready to go back racing here with the driver's introduction. We'll pick up where we left off. Blake Hochschild is driving the number 2 late model here tonight for Paint House Racing. Jeremy Douglas will be in the number 21 Baxter late model. And Bradley Cross will round out the number 7 right here tonight with Nicholas Maynard on the outside of him in the Penske number 02. Mike Dole in the number 14 board weight late model from Middletown, New Jersey will shake out the 11th place spot here. Alex Young Money Morales will go around in the heat race here, but he's able to hold on to it. He'll patch up the Tennessee Volunteer number 92 late model, and he'll be back out here on the back half of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, Leighton Rose will miss the start here for the feature. He'll have to start from the pit on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, but that doesn't care for Corey Riptide Tessner. He'll move up here to the second place spot, but it's going to be Neil Rutt, the guy in charge here as we get ready to go back racing here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Got it turned up in turn 1 here. Everybody's got a cold one cracked over here in turn 1 here at the South Boston Speedway. Neil Rutt's getting ready to step on it. Green flag is in the air for the Old Spice Classic here at the South Boston Speedway. Down into turns 1 and 2 here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Neil Rutt's got the race lead. Corey Tessner a little tight off the corner here. They're able to hold on to it. Neil Rutt's got Chase Johnson charging on that back door hard here. Back across the front stretch here in front of the fans at the South Boston Speedway. Corey Tessner able to hold on to that third place spot. They would have to give up the second one to Chase Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division. James Fallon trying to move up a couple more spots here. He's already up 2 from where he started. We're only 1 lap into the night to bend off turn 3 and 4 for the second time tonight. Door to door here with the boogeyman of John Michael Bryant, the 23 battle into 24. What kind of coincidental shit is this? Down the back straightaway, diving into turns 3 and 4. James Fallon really able to hold on to it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Up off the corner, here comes Neil Rutt diving back down into turns 1 and 2. These guys absolutely going at it here. 4 laps are complete here. Tonight's Old Spice Late Model Classic. The number Hendrick car, 24.com late model. But James Fallon to cut the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around as he manages to work his way around. The number 23 of John Michael Bryant. 5 laps are complete now. The number 99 of Dakota Pignataro battling hard here with James Fallon. You're riding out the front bumper of the boogeyman. Your mom's favorite driver, John Michael Bryant, here through the front stretch of the South Boston Speedway. To the fans will roar here. Ward Burton on top of the box here tonight for John Michael Bryant. He's got an extra pair of fists here as him and Nicholas Maynard banging out there in the heat race. Back here battling for the 9th place spot is Nicholas Maynard in the 02 and the number 21 of Jeremy Douglas, followed by Blake Cawshaw riding up here. And that's where you'll catch John Michael Bryant selling away from the rest of the pack here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. 7 laps are complete here in the Old Spice Classic. The battle for the race lead is really starting to dissipate here between Chase Johnson and Neil Rutt. We've seen these two absolutely go at it in the heat race. We've seen it looks like we got somebody spun out back here. Caution flag out on the racetrack. Alex Young Money Morales is spun around here down in turns 3 and 4. Backwards here, that Tennessee Volunteers late model. The number 92 are trying to get this thing turned around. We'll back that ass up here for the instant replay here for the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division. The number 92 of Young Money, Alex Morales from Elk Grove, California, will make the trip all the way here to the East Coast. Trying not to trash this late model, maybe a little bit of contact there with the number 14 of Dakota Pignataro. We'll back that ass up here. Take a look here. Looks like these two guys are absolutely shitting and getting, as we say here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Excuse me, not Dakota Pignataro. That's Mike Dole in that number 14. Down on the bottom side, looks like the number 92 chops across the front nose of Mike Dole. Mike Dole sends him around. We'll back that ass up one more time. See if we can't ride out the front bumper of Mike Dole as him and Alex Morales absolutely battle it out here at the South Boston Speedway. Definitely come across the nose right there. Alex Morales spun around here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Lawton Rose able to get around it as well. So we're underneath the caution flag here for the first time here tonight. 7 laps are complete here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Alex Morales, not much damage to the number 92 late model. We'll see how much it'll affect them. We'll take a commercial break and be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Bang, bang, welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel underneath the caution flag here tonight for the first time here tonight for the night's feature that's scheduled for 75 laps. Ladies and gentlemen, a hard shot to the outside, safer barrier for the number 92 of Alex Young Money Morales. Not what he was looking for, just a young fella, kind of quite little to be taking some huge shots right there into that outside safer barrier, but he's back out on the racetrack here after making the necessary fixes to that late model. Chase Johnson up here playing around with the camera, trying to come up here, give you a quick shot. Here comes Jeremy Douglas in that fire number 21 Baxter late model here. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're getting ready to go back racing here this time around, and I apologize, didn't mean to bring that up on you folks here. Fanatec sponsored here tonight on tonight's Booty Scoot Racing channel's I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division. Make sure you go grab you one today. The number 99 of Dakota Pignatera was the topic to talk up tonight. Talked to him tonight, getting ready to go racing here in the garage, and he told me this is one of his favorite racetracks. He loves cutting the corners here around the South Boston Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt's going to be the race leader back here through the Fanatec restart zone. Will Neil, real Neil Rutt, whatever the hell you want to call him, definitely the real deal here. He's been able to hold off the season one champion of Showtime, Chase Johnson. My green flag's back in here. The air at the South Boston Speedway for the Old Spice Late Model Classic here. Contacts made back here between James Fallon and Dakota Pignatara. That shifts Dakota Pignatara up the racetrack here, battling down here in the turns 3 and 4 on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. The number 99 and John Michael Bryan battling door to door here as well. Nowhere to hide here at the South Boston Speedway. I mean, the inside wall just travels damn near halfway across, all the way through turns 1 and 2 and down here 3 and 4. These guys really trying to use it to their advantage. You see the number 23 late model, John Michael Bryan, down on the paint trying to use it for a little bit of extra grip inside of that late model. Here comes the number 2 of Blake Hochschild and that number 2 Paint Hoss machine. It's got some speed in it, as we seen him absolutely put on a show at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in the TNA Total Nonstop Action Truck Series from the Madness Racing League. He had one of the fastest Toyotas at the track that night, and he looks like he's got some speed here. Nicholas Maynard is down here on the bottom side of the racetrack, battling door to door. Jeremy Douglas, contact made back there with the number 14 of Mike Dole, but he's able to hold on to it. But that really opens up the door right there for that number 92 machine of Alex Young Money Morales, and he's back down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Contacts made back here. Mike Dole goes around, pile up here in the turns 1 and 2 underneath the camera. Caution flag fly. A huge shot here on the outside safer barrier, in turns 1 and 2. Alex Morales is involved. Mike Dole involved again. Some more contact back here between the number 14 and the number 92. We'll back that ass up here for an instant replay, as we always do here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Not sure what the hell just happened here with the number 14, and the 7's involved as well. So is the number 18. We'll back it up here. Looks like the number 92. All the way, I mean, tons of position game right there for Alex Young Money Morales. Not sure what he did. He clears himself down here in the turns 3 and 4. That was a great move by the number 92. Works up off the corner, gets loose. Back on the top side of the racetrack here. Contact made by the 18 into the 14. Spins around. Young Money, Alex Morales. Mike Dole is involved as well. But it looks like number 18 of Leighton Rose maybe had started that. We'll back that ass up one more time here. And right around the front stretch cam here. See if we don't see anything that is unnecessarily warranted here from the number 92 here. He was battling hard here. The number 18 comes down, door breaks the number 14, sends Alex Morales hard in the outside wall right here. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll back that ass up one more time here. Viewer discretion is advised as Alex Morales takes one hell of a shot here at the South Boston Speedway. See if he climbs from that race car. Hard into the outside wall there for the number 92 Tennessee Volunteer late model. It might be destroyed now. That's 2 incidents in a row for the number 92 of Alex Morales, and Mike Dole is all kinds of mic'd up and tore up here at the South Boston Speedway. That Borwick late model is going to need some damage addressed to it as he works around turns 1 and 2. We'll take that commercial break and be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We're working our caution flag here tonight after a hellacious pileup here in the turns 1 and 2 that involved about 3 or 4 different cars here. Bradley Cross involved in that race car. I mean, it has damage on the right front here, but Bradley Cross really able to pile drive his way here. He had some previous damage underneath the caution flag beforehand, but Bradley Cross coming underneath the radio here, underneath the commercial break, complaining to the crew chief, saying if we could just pull out the fender on top of the right front tire and maybe get a little bit of extra grip, as he's losing a little bit of downforce here in the turns 1 and 2. He said he's got a really good 3 and 4 here, but he said somebody's got to get that number 92 off the racetrack here. It looks like the number 14 will be sent to the back of the racetrack here. So Mike Dole and Alex Morales tackled twice here already tonight on the Booty Scoot Racing channel, and both of them has been placed on the aggressive driving list. Scooting back up into the front of the pack where Neil Rutt, is the real deal, no pun intended, from Union Beach. He's going to be the race leader here once more, as he's led almost every lap from the pole up to this point in the Old Spice Late Model Classic. Neil Rutt here slams back down on the gas. We're back racing here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Diving down into turns 1 and 2 here. The green flag is back in the air. Chase Johnson up on the outside. Everybody fanning through here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Down into turns 3 and 4 here. Look at Neil Rutt really able to work off the bottom side of the racetrack there. And Chase Johnson's going to try back down on the bottom side. Contacts made there between James Fountain and Corey Riptide Tesner. John Michael Bryant drives really well off the corner right there, as he looks like he's able to get that number 23 late model rotated really quite well through the corner. James Fountain gets loose off the corner. Contacts made back here. Hard in the inside wall. Caution flag flies. James Fountain. What the absolute hell just happened to the 24 machine of James Fountain? Holy shit. The number 24, HendrickCars.com, pulls a 360 here on the front stretch at the South Boston Speedway. What in the absolute hell just shook out here? A big pile up across the front stretch. Corey Tesner involved. James Fountain loose off the corner. We'll back that ass up here for the instant replay. Take a look and see what the hell just happened. As James Fountain takes flight Elon Musk style here across the front stretch here at the South Boston Speedway. Just gets loose off the corner, cooks it. James Fountain hard on the inside wall, and pow! Huge shot from the number 14 of Mike Dole. The number 7, not what we wanted to see for Bradley Cross. He's all kinds of jacked up here by Young Money Alex Morales. James Fountain crab walking here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We'll back that ass up one more time. See if we can't ride out the gyro cam with James Fountain, as he takes one hellacious shot here across the front stretch down into turns 1 and 2. We'll back it up one more time. James Fountain riding and absolutely flying through the air. Boom! Hard ass shot there for the number 24 of James Fountain here. Peter the pace car absolutely ripping and getting his arm here. Big pile of as everybody tries to shake it out here. The number 92 backs into the number 14 here. So we'll have to have a conversation about the number 92, but the caution flag is out here for the third time here tonight. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Bang, bang! Oh, hey, you must be new here. This is the late model division for the I-85 Asphalt Series Season 2. This has been the schedule all year long. We're here at the South Boston Speedway for playoff race number 2 here tonight. 2 more weeks from now, you'll find us at the Hickory Motor Speedway in Hickory, North Carolina for some more short track action. And let me tell you something, that is going to be one hell of a race. Then we'll head on over for 25 more laps added on to the original 75 for the championship race at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And it is certain to be one hell of a finish here as these guys continue to round out the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we're getting ready to go back racing here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel this time around. Peter the pace car hangs the left on the pit road. Neil Rutt the third, brings it through the Geico, restarts all back green here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. James Fountain not able to get back onto the racetrack there. It looks like his night might be done here. John Michael Bryant complaining underneath the caution flag there. These guys would ever stop wrecking these race cars, he would really be able to have a heat cycle on these tires. Blake Hochschild battling on the inside of Nicholas Maynard. John Michael Bryant said he felt like he'd be able to have a heat cycle back through to go the way that he would like to inside of that late model. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 laps are complete. This time around, Neil Rutt's been out front for the majority of tonight's event. Chase Johnson right behind him here as the battle for the race lead sails off turn 2, down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Working their way through turns 3 and 4 here, up off the corner. Neil Rutt's able to really hold that late model quite well and straight down into turns 1 and 2 as they work their way here. Nicholas Maynard shunned on the outside here by Jeremy Douglas here. The battle for the, looks like going to be the 5th or 6th place spot here. It's going to be the 7th place spot between Nicholas Maynard and Jeremy Douglas. Jeremy Douglas will try the bottom side of the racetrack now. The number 21 and 02 absolutely going at it here. Corey Tesner back out on the racetrack here with that beaten and batter number 8. Sunoco Racing Fuel late model. John Michael Bryant will get the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around. Chase Johnson trying to work down the back bumper of the number 66 of Neil Rutt, and he's just right there, not able to commit back to the gas when he wants to here. Neil Rutt really able to hold on to the bottom side of the racetrack there, handling quite well inside of that number 66 late model. Up off the corner here, Neil Rutt the third. Looks like the caution flag is flying here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. Maybe contact back here with somebody. Looks like Alex Money Morales has went around here and crashed that late model one more time. We'll back that ass up here for an instant replay. Take a look and see what the hell just happened here with the number 92 of Alex Morales. As my ticker said, it was him that crashed in. It looks like it's going to be here. Oh my fucking jeez. Holy hell, the number 92. Can't get the damn break here tonight. Down the back straightaway up on 2 wheels. Oh my, just a huge shot right there from Mike Dole. And these two guys just can't seem to stay away from each other. Even when they're about 500 feet apart on the racetrack here, Mike Dole goes around with a hellacious shot of this inside wall. We'll back that ass up here one more time for the board. Weight 14 late model of Mike Dole. You can't run from us, Michael, here, as that was one hellacious shot here. We'll ride along with Mike Dole here. Take a look and see what happened. Mike Dole here down on the bottom side of the racetrack here. Maybe just a little free through the corner. Steps out on him. Pow! Hard on the outside wall. And that'll send Alex Morales just absolutely flying here down into turns 3 and 4. Almost over on his lid here. Huge shot there for the number 92. We'll back that ass up, see if we can't ride on board with the young money Alex Morales inside of that late model. Bang! Up on his lid right there, damn near for the number 92 Tennessee Volunteer late model. Mike Dole will be big time hurt here, trying to refire that late model here, and I don't think it's going to work for him here. He's stuck here on the back stretch here. Looks like everybody's going to pass him. Mike Dole will lose a lap here. We'll go to a commercial break and be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere.
Check it out.
Welcome back here on the Moody Scoot Racing channel. You're watching the I-85 Asphalt Series Late Model Stock Division Playoff Race number 2 live here from the South Boston Speedway. 73 degrees, outside here tonight. Beautiful night for some racing. 88 degrees is the track temperature currently as they run here. A couple guys down on pit road like Corey Riptide Tesner, Alex Young Money Morales, and Mike Dole here, but everybody else will stay back out here on the racetrack here, so some guys will be able to gain a little bit of an advantage here and move up a couple spots here on the BDC Racing channel, just like they did well intended. Peter the pace car has got everybody right behind him, and he'll flick you the bird, I would imagine. Pow, right there it goes from Peter the pace car, as he always does to the driver cam. Getting ready to go back racing here. Neil Rutt has been absolutely dominating this late model race here tonight. Looking for his first win here in the late model division. Getting ready to go back racing here from the blimp cam. Peter the pace car is off back green here in the Old Spice Late Model Classic. Neil Rutt steps back down on the gas, working their way through turns 1 and 2. Neil Rutt will come off the outside of the racetrack here. Chase Johnson awfully close to that outside wall there. Battling down into turns 3 and 4. Will Chase Johnson have the opportunity this time around to get to that back bumper, that number 66 board weight late model? Not quite sure here. Is Chase Johnson really able to hold on through the gas here through turns 1 and 2? Here comes Chase Johnson looking for the race lead here late into tonight's event. Scheduled for 75 laps around the South Boston Speedway for the Old Spice Late Model Classic. 5 in the bank for the overtime if we need them. John Michael Bryant up off the corner there. Here comes the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. But Jeremy Douglas is trying to move around that number 2 paint house machine of Blake Hochschild. It's both of these late model drivers riding full time here for the late model division for a playoff spot. A chance to go to the championship race. Even though they have one more playoff race to go at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Get it while you can here tonight. Lap traffic is coming in effect. That's the number 14 of Mike Knoll. As John Michael Bryant tries to work his way around the number 14. The number 66 late model of Neil Rutt III debuted 2 weeks ago here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel at the Langley Speedway. Got out front, led a couple laps here, lost that race to Showtime Chase Johnson. Heat race number 1 here tonight. Chase Johnson able to try to get back to that back bumper, Neil Rutt. But Neil Rutt will battle door to door for about 12 laps with Showtime Chase Johnson in heat race number 1, and Neil Rutt was able to steal that heat race win. So ladies and gentlemen, Neil Rutt currently 1 win, Chase Johnson currently 1 win. Both of these guys 1 for 1 here battling each other. Nobody's really had the ticket for Chase Johnson all season long. 5-time winner this season. Chase Johnson absolutely been dominating here in the I-85 Asphalt Series late model stock division. Blake Hochschild up off the corner here as he's starting to pull away from that Baxter late model of Jeremy Douglas. Nicholas Maynard has Bradley Cross following right behind him. Bradley Cross scanning underneath the radio plate here, excuse me. The number 7 late model says, really lacking that grip on that right front tire. We need to pull that right front fender off of here before the right front tire blows on us here as our nose is starting to cave in. They're asking the oil temperature inside of that late model. He says 240 degrees. And then they ask him the driver temperature. He says 900. Bradley Cross absolutely pissed off inside of that late model, as this is not how he expected his night to go. John Michael Bryant works down here on the bottom side of the racetrack here. He's leading this back half group here. It'll be the 23 machine, followed by the 99, the 2, the 21, and the number 02, the kid of Nicholas Maynard, trying to work down on the bottom side of Jeremy Douglas here, down the back straightaway, down into turns 3 and 4 here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You're watching the Old Spice Late Model Classic here from the South Boston Speedway as everybody starts to fan their way around the racetrack here. Nicholas Maynard's able to get around Jeremy Douglas. We're riding around in the chopper cam with Christopher the Chopper Guy. Really making up shit on the spot at this point, but we're picking off green flag laps here. 25 laps to go here as we're scheduled for 75. Don't get it twisted here. 5 laps are in the bank for the overtime. The 99 of Dakota Pignataro slowly trying to run down that 23 machine of John Michael Bryant. If they could ever get here, this will bang good. A battle here. It's Jeremy Douglas. Whoa, almost loses it right there. But he's able to hold on to that race car down the back straightaway. John Michael Bryant leads the rest of the pack here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Jeremy Douglas is starting to lose a bit of it. Touch here behind the 02 of Nicholas Maynard. But here comes Dakota Pignataro knocking on the back door of the Booty Man. John Michael Bryant really able to play great defense here around the South Boston Speedway. Get as low as possible down here on the apron here and defend it. If you're going to pass me, you're going to have to pass on that outside. We'll check here on the battle for the race lead. It looks like Neil Rutt III has some lap traffic right ahead of him. It's a teammate. That's the number 14 of Mike Knoll with tons of damage. It went a hard charge in Showtime. Chase Johnson with less than 25 laps to go. What will Chase Johnson do here? Already almost mathematically locked into the championship race. He'll pull it to the outside. Mike Knoll will stay away from the race leader here of Neil Rutt. That'll open up the door here for the rest of these guys. It looks like Dakota Pignataro Knock, knock. John Michael Bryant says, who's there? John Michael Bryant says, shut the damn door closed down on the 99 right here, late model. That's the number 99. He's up off the corner. Blake Hochschild is here. He's ready to play. He's got a bumper. It is short track racing in the words of Denny Hamlin. You can't be mad when it's 2. Here's the number 02. It looks like Dakota Pete Notaro is sick and tired of sitting behind that pink late model of Gorilla Mod. He's going to have dreams about energy drinks here tonight as he gets loose off the corner. Mike Dole, the lap traffic car, being real gracious with the rest of the field here, staying out of the way. Blake Hochschild got the fastest lap on the racetrack that last time around with a 15.44 compared to the race leaders 15.50. John Michael Bryant has some company here, but he is absolutely slamming on the brakes here, doing everything inside of his power to hold on to this late model here. As Mike Dole comes charging, Dakota Pete Notaro comes charging here on the outside. He'll look to the outside here at the South Boston Speedway, and the battle stays put here for the 3rd place spot. 23 laps to go, now 22 across the line. Neil Rutt has absolutely been dominating the Old Spice Late Model Classic here tonight at the South Boston Speedway. The Burtons are in town at their home track. This is the hometown of the Burtons, Jeff and Ward Burton, where they cut their teeth. Ward Burton on the box tonight for that number 23 pink late model for John Michael Bryant. Down on the bottom side of the racetrack, 2 short track guys absolutely banging doors here. Dakota Pete Notaro will have the run down the back straightaway. Where will he choose to make the move around the 23 machine? He'll try the outside here. John Michael Bryant, will he play the defense all the way to the wall? You damn betcha the boogeyman rattling some cages here. Blake Hochschild is really starting to enter the picture here. 4-wide battle here between the kid of Nicholas Maynard, who looks like he's trying to work the bottom side now on the apron. Just like John Michael Bryant, these guys, you can throw a blanket over, battling hard for this 3rd place spot. Jeremy Douglas is really starting to lose touch here. Bradley Cross also desperately needing a caution flag here so he can come down and assess the damage on top of that late model. John Michael Bryant still got everybody piled up here like a freight train down on the bottom side of the racetrack here. Diving down into turns 1 and 2. Heading down off turn 2, door to door here. Dakota Pete Notaro's got the quarter panel on John Michael Bryant. Nicholas Maynard will pull door to door here with a Blake Hochschild machine. These 2 late models starting to pick off some of the fastest laps on the racetrack now. Did these 2 guys try to save a little bit of these Hoosier tires inside of these late models, as John Michael Bryant has had no choice but to play defense around the number 99 of Dakota Pete Notaro, who will try the outside of John Michael Bryant this time around. Not able to get onto him. John Michael Bryant's able to get the gas down. 15 laps to go. Next time around, Neil Rutt has a hard charge and Chase Johnson all over the tail end of him. Chase Johnson's able to roll right there to the back bumper of that number 66 late model. Down the back straightaway, Neil Rutt the 3rd has Chase Johnson. Will Chase Johnson put the bumper to the back bumper? Instead of number 66, and I don't think he will. Down into turns 3 and 4. 14 laps to go. Separate these 2 drivers for a win here at the South Boston Speedway. What would you do? Back out here with the battle for these guys right here. Everybody side by side. Damn near 3 wide for this 3rd place spot. John Michael Bryant still hauling the tail here, trying to keep the rest of these guys behind him. And that Gorilla Mod number 23 late model, Nicholas Maynard, down on the bottom side of the racetrack right there. Up at the hold the gas. It looks like caution flag is out here. Neil Rutt is not in the lead. Showtime Chase Johnson. Whoa, caution flag is out here. And maybe possibly for the race leaders. We will back that ass up here for an instant replay. Neil Rutt the 3rd and Showtime Chase Johnson right as we pull away from the action. Make contact possibly here. So that's what the ticker is showing me on the right side of my screen here that you guys cannot see here. Neil Rutt the 3rd absolutely been dominating this race all night long here. He's read the race high here. He'll get the most bonus points for sure. We know that. Him and Showtime Chase Johnson battling it out for the race lead. We'll take a look here. It looks like Showtime Chase Johnson finally got a quarter panel on the number 66 here. We'll take a look. Down into turns 3 and 4. Looks like, just a little bit of net code there to the number 66. And then number 5 is Showtime Chase Johnson. That'll spin around Neil Rutt. And Showtime Chase Johnson works his way down into turns 1 and 2. We'll back that ass up here. See if we can't look out the left rear cam of Neil Rutt the 3rd here. We don't want to throw the blame on anybody. We want to make sure that we see things the way that they're supposed to be seen here. We'll apologize to Chase Johnson or Neil Rutt if anybody else is involved or in the wrong here. We'll look out the back left rear cam of Neil Rutt here down into turns 3 and 4. Oh, definitely. So net code right there. The number 5 didn't even have to put the bumper to the number 66, but some great driving right there. Tokyo Drift style from Neil the Real Deal right the third. But the caution flag will fly here. Exactly what the number 7 of Bradley Cross was looking for here. We'll be underneath the caution flag here, and it's going to be real close here to an overtime. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the South Boston Speedway. Underneath the lights here, a beautiful night of racing. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 heat races have already been kicked out here underneath the sun here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We're working the caution flag for the 5th time here tonight. A little bit of net code internet connection will cause the carnage right there between Neil Rutt and Showtime Chase Johnson here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Didn't look like anything malicious here, so we don't want to place the blame if we don't have to. You're riding inside of the number 23 Gorilla Mine late model John Michael Bryant. To get ready to come to the Geico restart zone and pick which lane he'll go. It'll be on the inside or the outside lane. He'll be in the 3rd place spot. It'll be on the inside lane behind the race leader, Showtime Chase Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you came for. What would you do for a chance to race in the championship race? Not winning you're in, but every point is necessary if you got to move them. These guys, intentionally wrecking is prohibited here in the I-85 Asphalt Series, but Rubbin is racing, and we'll take a look here and see what happens. It's going to be Showtime Chase Johnson, going to be the race leader here. Getting ready to go back racing here. Peter the pace car is off. Freddie the flag man throws them back green here on the I-85 Asphalt Series. Late model stock division. Down off of turns 1 and 2. Chase Johnson's really able to hold up off the bottom there. John Michael Bryant will have Nicholas Mann part right there behind him. They'll work their way off turns 3 and 4 here. John Michael Bryant will move back up here. Deja vu all over again. It looks like the battle for the race lead between Showtime Chase Johnson and Neil Rutt is on here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just now tuning in to us, oh, caution flag back here. Big contact to the outside wall here. Looks like several guys involved. Maybe the number 7 of Bradley Cross. We'll back that ass up here and take a look and see what the hell just happened here. And see if we can't throw up the instant replay cam here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. A huge shot here for Bradley Cross in that number 7 late model, as they were just getting ready to start ripping back through the gears. Dakota Pictataro attacked by Jeremy Douglas. Bradley Cross up out of the way, trying to move out of the way. Jeremy Douglas just tags him hard to the inside wall there for Bradley Cross. No incident of his own doing. We'll back that ass up one more time here and ride around with Bradley Cross. That is not what you want to see here in the closing laps here, the Late Model Classic for the Old Spice. For the Old Spice Late Model Classic, for the I-85 Asphalt Series. Bradley Cross down here. The Cross looking out the front bumper cam. Great driving awareness there from Bradley Cross, and he just gets tagged here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel hard on the inside wall there for Brad Cross, but he looks like he's keep that thing rolling here. He got one tough motor and radiator inside that number 7 late model, but the caution flag is out here. We're headed to overtime. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Bang, bang. Welcome back here to the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Underneath the caution flag, we're getting ready to head the overtime. Freddie the flag man has the Flags pointed straight up here, telling us it's getting ready to be 1 to green this time around. Mike Dole will be the lucky dog. That's who you see driving and weaving up underneath your screen here, ladies and gentlemen, as these guys start fanning out here, getting ready to freaking crown us a winner, finally. After a long night here tonight at the South Boston Speedway, these guys are coming. Here comes Mike Dole on that number 14 late model here. He is registered to the lucky dog that time around here. Looks like we're going to take one more lap around Peter the pace car here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. So as we were talking about it earlier, Showtime Chase Johnson able to steal the victory 2 weeks ago at the Langley Speedway from Neil Rutt III when he made his debut. Neil Rutt led the most laps that night, but didn't go the victory lane. He was looking to redeem himself here tonight. Neil Rutt III and Chase Johnson will battle door to door for about 12 laps in the heat race, and Neil Rutt was able to steal one over Chase Johnson. So 1 for 1 in the battle for the 2 fastest late models here at the South Boston Speedway in the I-85 Asphalt Series. Excuse me, I'm so damn excited, getting ready to go back racing here. Peter the pace car has the green flag in the air. We are back green here in overtime. Down into turns 1 and 2 here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Up off the corner of turns 1 and 2. Showtime Chase Johnson. It'll be white flag this time around. Who will get it? Will Neil Rutt put the favor back to Showtime Chase Johnson? Ladies and gentlemen, white flag is in the air, presented by AFLglobal.com. Door to door, Nicholas Maynard, Blake Hochschild battling back here. Nicholas Maynard will scrape the outside wall. He'll have to charge back hard here. But it'll be Showtime Chase Johnson scrolling his way through turns 3 and 4. He'll come across the line and he'll win the Old Spice Late Model Classic. Giving it Nicholas Maynard over Blake Hochschild right there. John Michael Bryant in the 3rd place spot behind Neil Rutt III. Look at everybody else is putting it on here. John Michael Bryant, Nicholas Maynard exchanging some fenders here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. Tempers flying here for the kid of Nicholas Maynard and the Boogeyman. John Michael Bryant will have to keep the action on that here. Chase Johnson steals another one here tonight from Neil Rutt. After Neil Rutt leads the majority of tonight's event, Neil Rutt will lead 65 laps is what I'm hearing from the admin. But it'll be Showtime Chase Johnson, the playoff driver, full time here on the late model division for the I-85 Asphalt Series, taking it to victory lane. We got tons of guys parked here on the front stretch for driver interviews. And it looks like Showtime Chase Johnson's going to bring it around the victory lane. And Mike Dole will finish the race, but he'll collect the race leader. There's your congratulatory bump, Chase Johnson. As Chase Johnson gets ready to bring it back around here, we're getting ready to start the driver interviews and the Booty Scoot Racing channel post-race show as Chase Johnson picks up the victory here tonight for the late model division at the South Boston Speedway. Bang, bang! Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. You have just watched the I-85 Asphalt Series Late Model Division Playoff Race number 2 live here from the South Boston Speedway. And ladies and gentlemen, it's just seen Showtime Chase Johnson pick up the victory. He's down there in the Anderson Lawn Care Service Incorporated Bailey's Victory Lane here at the South Boston Speedway. And I believe we do have a pit reporter down there with the number 99 of Chase Johnson here. See if I can't get this thing to switch over for us real quick on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. It's part of my thing. I pray.
Overtime, kind of walk us through it. Yeah, just awesome battle with Neil. I'm sorry to them guys. I got into them there and didn't really mean to. Just thought I could get low enough and get beside them, but just ran out of room. So sorry to them guys, but overall, just one hell of a race. We were like neck and neck for 40 laps, and I don't think you could have did a piece of paper between his rear bumper and my front bumper. So just an awesome race. another fast car. Happy we can get another win, and we go to, I think, North Wilkesboro for a championship race. So that's an awesome track to do that at. So can't thank the guys enough. Thanks to the sponsors for bringing another fast car. And yeah, we'll see you. I think in the next one's Friday night. See you then.
Chase Johnson will win the second playoff race here, looking to go three-peated at Hickory 2 weeks from now. We'll stoop down here to the 66 of Neil Rutt. Neil, kind of walk us through your night here, side by side for lap after lap with Chase Johnson in the heat race. Saw you pick up the victory, and then again, almost deja vu in the feature, and you're able to get around him there, lead the majority of the laps there, but a little context made. Kind of walk us through it.
Got here a couple minutes left to practice. I didn't really get to turn many laps, so I was pretty happy with the raw speed we had out the gate. It was fun. Heat race side by side for, I think it was 13 laps in a row until I finally got around him there. We were able to kind of door bang a little bit, show some respect that way. Started on the pole for the feature. I think I led 60-something laps or something like that. Tight battling at the end between me and Chase, just a little bumper tag, that's it. It's racing. We're on a track that can barely fit two cars here. Not mad at it. Not mad at Chase. Congrats to Chase. He deserves it. We'll go on to next week at North Wilkesboro with our board book race engines and see if
That's the number 66 of Neil Rutt, and he's looking to take on the Hickory Motor Speedway, not the North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll scoot down here to John Michael Bryant. John, kind of walk us through your night here. You had a bad fast late model here. You was really able to play defense there through that long green flag run and hold on to that third place spot. Kind of walk us through it.
Yeah, just first and foremost, I'm going to say, I hate we didn't have our guy Tony Cook here today. I don't know why he couldn't make the trip up here, but maybe we'll see him next race. Got lucky avoiding a collection of cars between that Kesner kid and that Fountain boy. Drove through it and, just held on that third place spot. Did everything I could to keep the car on the bottom. I wasn't going to give up that inside line. Had some good racing with the 99 car and, just did what we could to make the hot bombs happy. Thanks to Gorilla Mind and everybody over there doing what they do, Creekwater Whiskey. We'll come back and try to do something better at Hickory.
John Michael Bryant looking to head up north to the North Carolina Speedway, the Hickory Motor Speedway here in 2 weeks, and try to pick up the victory there or find his way in a championship race on points. We'll see how things shake out for the 23. We'll scoot down here to the number 02 of Nicholas Maynard. Nick, kind of walk us through your night here. You try to charge back there through the field, trying to save a little bit of time.
It was a hard-fought race all night. Started moving through the field there during the green flag run. The 23 man, I'm down there, started blocking again, playing defense, and then the Jack man comes down here after the race for making a little contact at me. I'm not sure what's going on with him. And if he wants another one, we can give it to him. He wants to play Billy Badass, I'll show him. I just can't thank everybody enough here at the Team Penske Development Team for letting me drive this late model here at South Boston. Looking forward to Hickory 2 weeks from now. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Back down here to the number 2 late model of Blake Hochschild. Blake, kind of walk us through your night here. You'll round out the P5 spot here tonight, battling door-to-door there with Nicholas Maynard and Dakota Pignataro, and you'll round out here the top 5 spot. It's a little bit of damage on the left side of this paint house number 2.
Yeah, overall, just a good night for us again here. Definitely some fun racing there with the the 02. We are in the number 2. Maybe need a little bit of a drug test here tonight, just joking around. But we did have a fun night. Regardless, we were up in this top 5 pretty much the whole time. Did get a little bit scared of the boogeyman there. Didn't want to get too close to him. But next week we'll try to get together.
That's the number 2 of Blake Hochschild, fully off the medical leave. We'll scoot down here to the 6th place finisher, the number 99 of Dakota Pignataro. Dakota kind of walked us through your night there, beating and banging all night long. It seems like you had a magnet on that late model. Everybody seemed to find you tonight. Just kind of walk us through here as you were able to charge back up here for a P6 finish.
Yeah, it felt good in the heat race. I've had pretty decent races here in the past in South Boston, so I'm very familiar with this compared to the last race we had here. I didn't want to get in the way of anyone up front for the playoffs, especially Mr. Boogeyman, he was running a hard race down there on the bottom, just had real good defense there. Unfortunately, got into a little incident, and yeah, I was able to work my way back up the best I could.
That's DP driver, the number 99 here for the Boardwick late model. We'll scoot down here to the final P7 finisher here, the number 1 of Bradley Cross. Brad, kind of walk us through your night here tonight. Again, almost the same way you, a magnet attached to that late model. Everybody seemed to find you when the disaster struck, but you were able to drive that thing back up here to a P7 spot. Kind of walk us through your night as you make your debut here in the late model division.
Well, you know, it's my first night racing with y'all guys. I had fun doing it. Like you said, I got caught up in a couple of incidents, but I made my way from 13th to 7th, and I look forward to racing with y'all next week at Hickory, or in 2 weeks. I appreciate it, man. That was a good race with everybody, and congratulations to the winner.
That's the number 1 of Bradley Cross. He'll take that P7 money and take it back to the house. We'll throw it back up here to the booth. That'll do it for the driver interviews down here from South Boston.
Ladies and gentlemen, back up here to the booth here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. We are getting ready to send it to commercial break here for one final time. We will be back in just a moment with the conclusion of the post-race and the results in the post-race breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Chase Johnson wins the Old Spice Late Model Showdown. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Bang, bang. Welcome back here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel for the post-race show. You have just watched the I-85 Asphalt Series late model playoff, race number 2 here, and it has been one hell of a show so far. Each and every week that they keep bringing this playoff series to us for the late model division, but we expect nothing less for the I-85 Asphalt Series. With this being the second playoff race here, we will break down the results here tonight. This is how it shook down at heat race number 1. We'll pull up the results. Neil Rutt the third. And that number 66 late model was able and bad fast to bring home the heat win over there over Showtime Chase Johnson. They'll battle door to door for about 12 laps, and Neil Rutt was able to sneak out the heat race win there. But ladies and gentlemen, Dakota Pignataro brought home the 3rd place spot, followed by Blake Hochschild in the 4th place spot. Bradley Cross brought home the top 5 in heat race number 1, followed by Mike Dole. A young money Alex Morales really couldn't try to keep the wheels underneath it tonight. And that number 92. Switch over here to heat race number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Heat race number 2 saw the number 18 late model of Leighton Rose, who missed the start for the feature, start from pit road, win heat race number 2 side by side by 200ths of a second over Corey Riptide Tesner, driver of that number 8 Sunoco late model. Bad fast here tonight, almost had the heat race win, but it was fell quite short, now by a little bit too. John Michael Bryan in that pink Gorilla My late model was able to direct the traffic there. 5 guys battling right there behind him, beating and banging, but he'll play the defense there, and he holds them off there. Some words exchanged between him and the kid of Nicholas Maynard after the checkered flag. And ladies and gentlemen, it looked like James Fountain was able to bring home a 4th place spot in heat race number 2, followed by Jeremy Douglas bringing home that 5th place spot. And the kid of Nicholas Maynard gets shuffled around, looks like back there to that final 6th place spot for the last heat race that took on tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll switch over here to the main one that really took all the prizes. Showtime Chase Johnson already mathematically will go ahead and lock himself into the I-85 Asphalt Series late model division playoff race a couple of weeks from now at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. These guys will go at it for a championship race for 100 laps around the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and you can damn sure make sure you find Chase Johnson there with that win here tonight. Neil Rutt III will absolutely leave the racetrack here tonight in disbelief stunned here. He'll have to settle for a second place spot as the caution flag flies there, and he was a part of it there with Showtime Chase Johnson. Looked like a net code on our end, but the drivers will have to agree between each other on how they really feel about it. He'll get the second place spot. John Michael Bryant, his J Money Motorsports 23 late model from Greer, South Carolina, brought home the third place spot here tonight. After a little bit of door banging there in overtime, John Michael Bryant was able to boogie his way to the top 3 spot. Nicholas Maynard shakes back after a tough heat race there in heat race number 2 from Wilford, South Carolina. That Penske Development driving late model was fast here tonight. He'll get the 4th place spot. Blake Hochschild and Nicholas Maynard was absolutely shitting and getting, or booting and scooting, as we would say here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel. The Paint House machine will definitely need a new wrap after tonight. After a little bit of door banging, side scraping out here tonight, Blake Hochschild will get the top 5. Dakota Pignataro all over the back bumper of John Michael Bryant there in the closing laps. Single digits left to go, but he'll have to settle for a 6th place spot here after getting shuffled out there and collected in the outside wall in the overtime. Bradley Cross finally gets the caution flag that he was needed and piled up and turned around there at the end. Bradley Cross just not having the day that he was needing here tonight at the South Boston Speedway. He'll bring home the 7th place spot. Jeremy Douglas got the 8th place spot here tonight in his G&E Roofing Baxter late model from Augusta, Maine. Jeremy Douglas racing for a late model playoff championship spot here. Being able to finish tonight's race would have did wonders for Jeremy Douglas, but have to settle for that 8th place spot. We'll see how the points shake out. Mike Dole making his 2nd late model debut here tonight in that Boardwick number 14, tangling back and forth all night long with Alex Morales from Middletown, New Jersey. He'll throw the helmet across the front stretch, trying to hit that Tennessee Volunteer number 92 late model. Mike Dole absolutely pissed off here at the South Boston Speedway. Corey Tesdell will round out the top 10 here tonight, and that number 8 Sunoco late model will finish 46 laps down after collecting the outside wall. Tons of damage for Corey Tesner, just couldn't hold on to it any longer. Alex Young Money Morales will go for a ride on the right side of his race car, up on 2 wheels into the outside wall down the back straightaway, beating and banging all night long with the number 14 of Mike Dole. Doesn't work wonders tonight for Alex Young Money Morales. James Fountain driving that number 24 Hendrick Cars late model from Greenville, South Carolina. Usually one of the contenders up there up front racing for the race win. Goes around early here tonight, gets pounded by a couple of the drivers behind him. He'll get the 12th place spot. Leighton Rose goes from absolutely winning the heat race side by side, inches over Corey Tesner, to finishing out the last place spot here tonight. He'll miss the starting grid and it piled into a wreck quite early into tonight's event. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Booty Scoot Racing channel live here on the TikTok platform. And a quiet South Boston Speedway as these fans are starting to pack up their shit, packing up their beers and coolers and walking back out of their cars. Ladies and gentlemen, the Booty Scoot Racing channel reminding you to drive safe. We are not responsible for your drinking and driving. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it here tonight from the South Boston Speedway for the Old Spice Late Model Showdown that saw Showtime Chase Johnson still won over Neil Rutt here in the closing laps in overtime. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you 2 weeks from now at the Hickory Motor Speedway for the I-85 Asphalt Series for 75 laps. And we will cut from 10 playoff drivers to our final 4. We'll see you then. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a blessed week. We'll see you Friday night for the All Out Dirt Tour live here on the Booty Scoot Racing channel.